All right, shalom, shalom. I'm gonna start off this video by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone where I learned the truth 100% according to the Bible. I also want to say shalom to the elect, the 144,000 men, prophets, the servants scattered abroad the four corners of the earth. And shalom to the Akwaf, which are the sisters that are sincere and your children. Shalom. And in today's video is going to be a quick, update on World War III on the news that's basically taking place around the earth. So as you can see from this title, it says Pakistan almost used nukes and U.S. scrambles military cargo to Lithuania. So we're going to get into this video from NY Prepper, basically, just to see what it is that's taking place right now. And I'm going to get a few precepts, and Lord's willing, this update be edifying for you brothers and sisters that come across it. So with that being said, I'm going to get into this video. But before I start it, I want to say fair use on the 1976 Copyright Act. I'm not getting paid for this video. This is only for educational purposes only. So with that being said, fair use.
To Lithuania, right on the border of Belarus. This is the first time I've seen this many C-17 Globemasters fly to Lithuania in such a short span of time. So here you can see 6 C-17s flying from Ramstein to some bases near Vilnius. So this is very, very concerning. It means that the U.S. and NATO are concerned about a possible attack on Lithuania. We know that Belarus and Russia have been massing their...
Right. So you hear basically what it is that he's talking about, and this is the time period in which it is that we're living in. We know that Lord Yahweh said in the book of St. Matthew 24, and I'm going to go to that, in verse 6, he said that we're living in a time where you shall, hear of wars and rumors of wars. And that's what we're in the beginning of seeing. These things have been taking place, like I said, for going on periods of time. You got active wars that are actually taking place in the earth. And you got rumors of wars, which are talks of wars and people basically saying that they're going to go to war and things of that nature. But all of this is, like I said, is building up to this third world war, which will take place in our lifetime, which will be a nuclear war. And that's what everything we see happening around the world is ultimately being, pushed and orchestrated and being set up for, this battle of Armageddon that it tells you about in the book of Revelations. Right. This is St. Matthew 24:6 in the KJV. It says, and ye shall hear wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. And we know ultimately, like I said, the end won't come, which will be when this place, America, Babylon the Great, gets destroyed by nuclear fire. And the laser beams of the chariots shooting down upon this place. It won't happen until the MOTB is made mandatory, and majority of the people that are not of the Lord's elect receive that chip. And then that's when the third world war is going to get nuclear. But we see everything building up towards that, Everything is ultimately building up to the chip to be mandated. That's why you're seeing everything speed up in the earth, with these prophecies. As it tells us in the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3, it says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time. That vision is talking about the prophecies. But at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. And that's what we're seeing with these prophecies more and more as days goes on, that these things are progressing more and more. They're not tarrying. They're actually speeding up. And the Lord said that he would speed up the time for the elect's sake. It tells us that in St. Matthew 24 and 22. It says how the time will be sped up for the elect's sake. If not, no flesh shall be saved, roughly paraphrasing it. So, yeah, I'm going to get into this video. We're going to finish listening to what he's saying.
Belarus and Russia have been massing their forces along the border of Lithuania in this area where these C-17s were moved to. Now, these C-17s are the second largest military cargo plane in the U.S., so they're probably carrying something very heavy or a large amount of something. Okay, could be ammunition, could be air defense missiles, who knows, okay, tanks. But they flew from Ramstein directly to the Vilnius area of Lithuania. Vilnius is the capital of Lithuania, so maybe they're concerned about Belarus and Russia going for the capital of Lithuania, which is literally just 20 or 30 miles.
Right. And I'm going to get that same precept that I just read, St. Matthew chapter 24 and verse 6, but I'm going to read it this time in the NLT. because, you know, the NLT gives us a more, you know, forward answer, right, of what will be going on in these times, right? This is Matthew 24:6 in the NLT, and it says, and you will hear of wars, right? And threats of wars, right? That is what you're hearing going on all around the earth, especially in these different countries, especially over there in what they call today the so-called Middle East. You got all of those nations over there fighting right now. You got Ukraine and Russia going at it with one another. That conflict is constantly brewing and constantly intensifying. You got China and Taiwan getting ready to go at it. You got North Korea and South Korea going at it. And you got every country over there damn near in the Middle East fighting with one another. So, I mean, this war is just heating up, and, you know, and this is all the Lord's will, because we know ultimately, as it tells us in the book of Joel, chapter 3, that the Lord's will is to gather all of these heathen nations to the valley of Jehoshaphat, where they're going to fight in this third world war, right? That is what the end goal is of all of this stuff that we see happening with these wars building up and everything ramping up around the world, is ultimately to lead to this battle of Armageddon, man, right? Where the Lord is going to judge these heathen nations round about, right, for what they have done unto his people, man. So that's what we're seeing everything being set up for, you know. So I'm going to go to this precept. This is Revelations chapter 11 and verse 14 in the KJV. And it says, the second woe is past. That's representing the Second World War, which occurred from 1939 to 1945. And behold, the third woe, meaning this third world war, cometh quickly, man. And we're seeing that happen, man, that is speeding up, you know. So, you know, that's pretty much everything I had to say with today's video. Like I said, just something quick through the spirit. Lord's willing to be edifying to you, brothers and sisters that come across it. If you want to finish watching the video, the guy's channel name is NY Prepper. You know, for you brothers and sisters that may want to finish watching the video and seeing what it is he's talking about. But, you know, to the next time, I'm going to say shalom.